there. My name is Carol, and you are listening to the Girl Talk podcast, along with me, my friend
Alicia
and Tricia.
And we're so glad you are here today. Well, did you make a New Year's resolution? Anyone?
No,
me either.
Yet.
Me either.
Not yet.
You kind of did?
No, not really. It's the same old one.
I know.
Repeats.
I know. Just like ditto from last year, right? So we all want to be healthy this year.
Yep.
We all want to live better lives, and, you know, I look at it as ministry too. I want to be able to perform and do what God has called me to do, and the only way to do that is to take care of your body, your temple. Your body's a temple, girl. You got to take care of that thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, how to take care of yourself, healthy habits, healthy eating. What does it all mean? And for the balance of the time, we'll turn it over to Tricia.
You are setting the bar so low. This is. Are you serious?
No,
this is the idea.
No, you're like the
No.
guru. You eat healthy.
Yeah.
You have
exercise.
you plan out like what you eat. You bring to lunch these nice healthy meals.
Some of them are stinky, though.
Yeah,
You know,
Brussels.
You're always training for a race.
Okay, I do truly prioritize exercise. You know, you guys know that. We've talked about that. That is my top
let's
thing.
talk about why you do that, because I think the greater reason doesn't really have to do with you getting stronger.
Right. I want to be more available in my life, like kind of like what you mentioned. I want to have more strength and stamina to do the job that I do, and then to go home and do the other job that I do, which is being, a wife and a parent. And I want to have the energy that I need to do those things. That's probably the hugest piece of it. The secondary piece, which is also very important, is that it is therapeutic for me to exercise. The other day I was really struggling. I felt like a rubber band pulled to the absolute tip top, like it was about to start to fray.
Yeah.
And so I went to the gym and I got on the spin bike and I worked it out for like 35 sweat-filled minutes. But when I walked away, I just felt so much better.
I'm convinced the devil rides a spin bike. That's going to be part of the punishment.
Well, he could have been beside me and I wouldn't have noticed because I was in my own little therapy session. I thought about paying the spin bike a therapy fee.
Exactly.
But so, Tricia, have you always been like that? Or was there a time in your life where you're like, you know what, I want to be healthy and I want to exercise, and you had to work into it?
True story. I grew up overweight. When I was younger, I struggled with my weight. My sister has always been very slender, and so I just always noticed that she was slender and I was not. I was always shorter and heavier, and it was a struggle for me with regard to my security level, like how I felt about myself. So when I was in the 5th, 6th grade, I started going to aerobic classes. At night, I would go with all these middle-aged women. We all had leg warmers,
doing jazzercise
Jane Fonda-ish. Seriously.
Yeah.
I didn't have a headband because I have frizzy hair. It would make it
leg
worse.
Warmers.
But I had leg warmers. Yeah. But really, honestly, I had to learn how to motivate myself to exercise at that time in my life. Now, I had a lot of friends who were just naturally skinny folks, and they would just run or they'd do sports, and they never had to even think about it. It was always a part of my life in terms of trying to be healthy and to feel like I was doing my best for myself. So it started that early, learning how to motivate myself to exercise. And really, that's come down to, what do you want from the session? What are you going to feel like afterwards? And that, to me, is worth whatever I have to go through to get there. Yeah.
See, your experience is opposite for me.
That's what I was going to say, too,
Yeah, I grew up, I played basketball and tennis and ran track for one miserable year because the basketball coach said we had to. And I was a terrible runner, but if you put a basketball in my hands, I was fine. So I never worried about it. But when I went through my divorce, somebody very important in my life said, "Did he leave you because of your weight?"
Oh.
And it was that. I mean, I can point to that day and say that's where I started. I obviously I just had a baby, and so there was all that. But that was like a very big deal for me, and I just have struggled ever since on the yo-yo of, lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain. So I think you could, no matter where you come from. I don't know if it's just a way that we're wired as women, but I think that 9 times out of 10, your physical exercise is sometimes tied to something emotional. Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Well, when I was young, I was very tall and very...
You're still very tall, by the way.
Yes. And thin. I was tall and thin.
Uh-huh.
I never had to worry about what I ate, ever.
Yeah.
I wasn't in sports. I tried to get on the teams, and they wouldn't let me on the teams.
Because you were too tall?
You know, I don't know. I wasn't very good. And so emotionally, that was very hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm in 6th grade, and you're not going to let me play volleyball?
Come on.
And I tried out for basketball. Didn't make the team. So I never was in a sport. And so that like crushed me. I never even tried out for sports. So I don't do sports. And as an adult, I've now have to watch what I eat. But I'm not good at exercise.
See, I thought about it as a curse when I was growing up because everybody else was skinny and doing their thing and not having to think about it. And I'm sitting there going to aerobics classes with the middle-aged moms. And I was like, wow, I lost the lottery in a sense. But what I can look back and I can go, well, I learned then how to motivate myself. And I have friends who have said to me that they wish they could motivate themselves because they didn't have to learn that back then. But you can learn it now. It's possible to learn it. And it really comes down to the benefit of it, what you get from it. And if it means enough to you, you'll do it. But you have to be clear on the way you're thinking about it. So you have to identify the reward before you go through the punishment, if you will.
Well, and I think one of the things that's been so powerful through our friendship is that you encourage people to just start with something. Now don't think you're going to get on a treadmill today and run a marathon if you haven't exercised since 1984.
That's when I was in those classes.
Yeah. Exactly. Because that's going to hurt you and you're not going to want to exercise for a long time. But I remember this because Tricia used to lead an exercise session in our prayer
staff room. Yeah,
in our staff prayer room, and during our lunchtime, and it was just walking. It was a walking video that we did.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, this is not going to do very much," but it got you doing something. Yes, and I was so shocked because we would actually sweat, you know. And then she started taking us out, and we about said live, but
right,
sort of
pretty much feels like it.
When we're at work, we're on the beautiful campus of the Billy Graham Training Center at the Cove, and so she got us out, and every morning at 10 after our prayer time, we'd go for a walk. And so and then when we'd go for the walk, she'd make us do burpees halfway through. And then we'd go for the walk, she'd do and so I think that is one of the things that you're truly gifted with, and it's so powerful. And I want to just affirm that in you that you are so encouraging when it comes to starting.
Well, and Tricia got me to keep tennis shoes under my desk so that I could go on those walks. Because I'm like, well, I don't have the right shoes, and I don't want to hurt myself. And it's not a difficult walk, but it is up a hill. And you know, and we do sweat a little. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to bring my extra pair of shoes and keep them under my desk. And just the encouragement of, hey, are you coming? Come on, let's go. It's only going to be 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, I can do that.
And we have fun.
It is fun.
We talk, and we talk about things that we wouldn't necessarily talk about during the work day.
Wouldn't get a chance to, really.
Absolutely.
When you're outside of the building and you're in fresh air or something, you're actually, when you exercise, when you increase your heart rate, your brain works better. So a lot of times people say, well, I don't have time to exercise because I'm busy working. If you take a little bit of time to move your body, you're going to have a more productive several hours of work after that.
Yeah.
Because we get into this zone of just sort of hyper focus. But if you get out and you move your body a little bit, all of a sudden you're going to come up with solutions to problems that you haven't been able to figure out.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
Research says this. I'm not making it up, but I've lived it.
Right.
So make it easy for yourself. Identify the reward, and then just start wherever you are. And if it's 5 minutes marching in place, like you said, it makes a huge difference.
Well, give us a couple of things that we could do today. Like if you are starting at ground zero and you say, I've not exercised maybe ever. What are some things that you can do, Tricia?
Let's say you're watching TV. You're a TV watcher, and it could be in the afternoon or the evening or whenever. So on the commercial breaks, stand up and march in place. Just literally like you're marching in place. You don't have to lift your legs very high if that feels bad to you, but just kind of move your body a little bit or walk around your living room. Do it during the commercial break.
Because you've already seen the Geico commercial. Like
You do not need to hear about that 15% off again.
Well, people don't. Cable is different. Like, we don't have cable anymore.
Right.
And so we have to watch the commercials.
Right.
I can't fast forward through the commercials like I used to.
Yeah.
So that's a good
Benefit.
good idea.
Yeah.
If you're warming something up in the microwave, it's a 2-minute something or another.
I do that a lot.
March in place. Yeah. Or balance.
You
Try
got me to doing
balancing.
that. Yeah.
You can get a lot done. March in place while you're brushing your teeth. I mean, these are
One of the
going
things
a little
that I
over the
did
top,
last
but-
year is I got a new watch for Christmas a year ago, and it tells me to stand.
Yeah.
And I was shocked at how many times during the day I had been sitting. I mean, my desk is my job is a desk job.
Sure.
But I didn't realize before I got this little vibration. And so I started, when it told me to stand, I was like, okay, I do need, so I would go walk the steps up and down. At least I'd go down. So I don't think anybody here noticed, but I felt kind of weird because I'd walk down the steps and I'd turn around and I'd walk back up. But people around this
She's
office
so
are always
We were
moving.
talking. We were talking.
Yeah.
But that did help me. I mean, that did help me a lot. I'm not like, running or anything, but.
And I will say, if you got a little extra money for Christmas and you can even one of the little cheap pedometers that goes on your belt, you will be amazed. And if you have a job where you're on your feet a lot, you'll be amazed at how many steps you take in a day. And I have also, because I have one of those watches that counts my steps, been known to jog beside my bed at night to get all my steps.
To hit your 5,000 or 10,000 or something.
I have paced a circle around this floor. Because I'm like, oh, kids, I've got like 100 more steps to get to.
See,
I'm so close.
You're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Just start. Just start doing something. Guaranteed, you're going to feel better. And then when you're doing it, really try to think about how you felt before you did it, and then how you feel after. Because if you can identify clearly for yourself how you feel differently afterwards, you will keep doing it. We all need a reward to keep doing the behavior. And so if you feel less stressed, if you feel more creative, if you feel like you've helped yourself, if you feel like a better mom or whatever, then you'll be able to encourage yourself to exercise the next time.
And then we turned the corner from exercise to talking about our eating. And we were talking about something that you heard, I think on a podcast about what you're eating.
Yeah.
So tell us what you learned.
So I was listening to this podcast, and it was about healthy eating, and I kept thinking, well, she's going to say, eat this for breakfast, eat this for lunch, eat this for dinner. And I was literally listening for that, and I was going to go buy it.
Go get it.
Yeah, I was going to go do it,
That's what I need.
But she never, ever said what to eat. She said, take what you're already eating and make it healthier.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it was profound because I didn't have to go buy $200 at the grocery store.
At Whole Foods.
Make it healthier.
Yes, that's right.
So what's an example of what that might be?
Well, she asked us to think in our own head, and so as I was thinking about it, I was thinking about pasta and tomato sauce because that is a meal we have, I don't know, once every week and a half because everybody eats it.
Yeah.
And
So
it's simple to make.
It's simple to make, but I use the canned sauce that is, it's got a lot of sugar and some preservatives. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but this is for me. I thought, well, I could replace that, and if I chopped up some tomatoes, actually I buy them from the grocery store already chopped, the tomatoes, the onions, and the peppers, minced garlic in its little container, and just sauteed that with a little olive oil instead of the canned sauce. So number one, I've cut the sugar down. I've cut the preservatives down. I've increased three different vegetables, in that. And my family ate it.
Oh, wow.
And I ate it, and it was delicious.
We changed out regular, like, buttermilk type of pancakes for whole wheat pancakes.
There you go.
A perfect example.
And my daughter was even kind of like, I don't really like these whole wheat pancakes, but last weekend we were making them, and she's like, are you going to make the whole wheat pancakes? And I said, yeah, I think. She goes, okay. And we made them. They're really small. They're like a silver dollar size, and you can pick. They're thick. They're not. What's the word? They're like firm enough that you can kind of eat them with your hands. So you can put them in a lunch. You could put peanut butter and jelly in between them.
Perfect.
They're like a little snack. You can make a whole bunch at once. That was a really easy swap out. And I can still make the other kind of pancakes every once in a while, but my go-to is this whole wheat recipe.
I am not a nutritionist by any means. I have friends that are, and I worked with some before. So I picked up a couple of things. And one of the things I picked up that's relevant to what you just said, is that we have this threshold. It's like a taste or a flavor threshold. And because we eat so much that's hyper flavored, our threshold is so high.
Yeah.
We don't just eat like a scoop of vanilla ice cream. We eat a hot fudge sundae with cherries and nuts and whipped cream on it.
And a half-gallon of ice cream.
That's right. And the service bigger. So your threshold for flavor is so much higher. My threshold for flavor for like sauces and dressing is too high.
Yeah.
So what happens is the first few times you try to lower that threshold and eat something a little plainer, a little healthier, you're going to be like, oh, this doesn't taste good. You can retrain yourself to appreciate natural tasting things.
Wow.
It takes a little bit of time. You got to understand that that's kind of you're detoxing from the way hyper flavored fat, sugar, salt combinations that is so prevalent in most of our foods. So if you just kind of say, I'm going to get back to where apples taste good. I'm going to get back to where a banana or even like broccoli with a little salt. You can get there. It just takes a little bit of time, but you can reset your threshold. I've seen it hundreds of times.
It's happened with me.
Yes.
I went on a specialized diet at one time, and I had a piece of fruit, and it was way too sweet.
Oh, yeah. I remember we were in a car. We were driving to an event, and Carolyn someone else with us got, from Whole Foods, got some papaya, I think. Natural dried papaya, and we were all so excited, and I gave Carol a piece. She's like, this is too sweet. I was like,
yes. I had never said those words before in my life because I'm a sweetaholic, I love sweet stuff. And I couldn't eat it because it was too sweet. So I know that is true. Your threshold will change and your brain will change and you will be. So I think we come away with some good tips. Park a little further away from work and walk.
Move.
Go up and down the stairs a couple of times if you can. Do something. And then make just little changes to the things that you're already eating. That's simple enough, isn't it?
Yep.
So can we all pledge that we'll do that?
Yes.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I will.
I will.
Okay, you didn't do it, so you do it now. Okay. I will. Eat healthier.
Eat healthier.
And move more.
And move more.
Yes. Okay, so we've all made the pledge. Let's do it, okay? We'll see you next time back here on the Girl Talk Podcast.